The hell you call a dream. This sounds perfect to me, guys. I feel hellish today. I don't bore it too much, but honestly, if you like the channel, please subscribe, like button. I would love support today, guys. I spent like 2 hours on the phone with Amazon, so that is ridiculous. So I am back playing Magic, guys. I really love Final Fantasy, and you know, I'm playing the game, and my vacation comes up soon, and I want to buy these bundle boxes, right, for my family, for my daughters, all right, for my wife. And actually, I want the lands or whatever. I want the actual stuff, right? I just want to buy them for collectibles. And for some reason, they apparently claim that they were here yesterday at like 11:30, which sounds really strange. It's supposed to come supposed to come tomorrow, the actual stuff, not yesterday. And then I mailed immediately when they had mailed me that at 12 yesterday, like at midnight. And I was like, no one was here, no one called me, I never got any phone calls. I was like, what? No one ringed the bell or anything. And then when I got home from work today, I got another mail that they just cancelled all my pre-order stuff, right? And then I can buy them now again, but it costs like 3 or 4 times the value. Because it's sold out everywhere. So it's like that thing cost $100 like 2 months ago, and now it's like $300 or something. I'm like, nah. So, it's so weird. And then, you know, they mailed me like, oh, you get your money back, no problem. I was like, I don't want the money back. I want the actual items, right, for the pricing. So, anyway, let's do some Hell You Call a Dream. I find it kind of funny because in the last video, of course, talking about a little bit of consumption, right? And I think more from the warning also it's about, you know, consumption, buying stuff, obviously money as well, right? But I think more so it's more about like the whole, you know, material girl that's gonna buy stuff, right? And I feel like that too, but I just said this thing, right? Sorry for my rant now, but shut up, I'm ranting now. It's like, it's about the principle, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a rich millionaire, no, but the point, I'm like, I don't care if I have to spend like, you know, 10 more bucks or $10 there or like $100, whatever. It's not about the money, right? It's not about getting the money back or whatever, or my bank account or whatever. It's about that I actually cannot buy these different bundles for this game because they're sold out in the whole world, right? So it's more about that I actually want the items, and that's about the principle. Like, wait, I don't think you actually work here, right? So long story short, not with Amazon, but this is famous game store where I live, which I bought games for many years, and they have this issue where they will have a really good price for like a collectible figure, right? For like a Maki or a Nesco or whatever, right? And they have a really good price. So I ordered there sometime, I stopped now of course, but then sometimes they just cancel it, right? And then, oh no, we actually didn't get the orders in or something, right? And then 2-3 weeks later, they will suddenly have the same collectible figure, but now it's like 4 times more expensive, you know what I mean? And that's how this thing fit with Amazon. I don't think it actually is Amazon's fault. Rather, it's probably the actual, you know, other seller right in between, probably, because I don't think they actually even were. Yeah, it was very strange. No one called me, and suddenly it's like, oh, you can still buy it, but if you pay 3-4 times more, right? So it's not about that I can't pay that, even though I want anyway because it's too expensive. But it's like, no, it's about the principle, right? You know. But honestly, I think that's more interesting, right? When it comes to, you know, hellish consumption, right? I think it's more about principle. You know what I mean? It's about like what's right or wrong. But anyway, long rant. But I had to get it out of me because I'm freaking frustrated, guy. I spent like 2 hours being like. But anyway, sorry about the rant. But I felt it was, I don't know. I just had to get out of my system, guys. Sorry about it. I just felt very frustrated, and I just want to really emphasize the point, right? It's about principles, right? And we see now if the lyrics here in the Hell Call You I can't speak. I'm angry. In the Hell You Call a Dream is similar, right? Because I do think the one thing I like with the warning is that they have a lot of these, you know, like I said, consumption, right? Material goods, first world problems, definitely. I mean, it's funny, right? I'm angry over where is my collectible card games kind of thing, right? It's like I'm, you know, getting angry over that. But like I said, it's more about like, for me, right, like the actual value. If you promise me something, I'm not gonna overpay for it, whatever, right? I don't actually believe you were here yesterday. It doesn't make any sense. Why we're here so late, right? It's like you mailed me like 12 o'clock about this thing, and now then I got another mail 3 a.m. there, right, in the middle of the night apparently, saying that the order's been cancelled because I wasn't there at like 11 at my home. So I was like, I was there, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's about the principles, right? But anyway, let's see if.
I'm into underwater right from the start. Rope is wearing thin, can't take it anymore. Come on, and that's how you call a dream. Colliding every time that chaos strikes me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe. Baby, I don't wanna be just wanna be. And that's how you call a dream. How you call a dream. Colliding every time. Wild like an animal. And that's how you call a dream. Stop this
Yeah,
cage.
this one here.
Just
That's clearly about that Lucifer, you know, in the cage, right? That's, I think the first bit, you really feel it's like, the Lucifer cage part, Supernatural or whatever, right? I'm a big fan of Supernatural for that matter. Jensen Ackles, my man, whatever. I digress. But again, right, I really do love the Warning's lyrics. I think they're very good lyrics. Again, maybe my rant was, I don't know, but I think it fits my rant, right? So I was like, this is why I like the Warning. I think they have some good, lyrics about, like I said earlier, a lot about material gain, right? And kind of like, what is the point of alive, whatever. There were some parts of the lyrics that felt a little bit similar to Choke, right? Which is kind of like, okay, I'm choking, how do I get out of it, right? This feels a little bit similar. It's like I need a dream, need like a purpose. But I think overall, this song is mostly about purpose, right? So we're a little bit into for here.
my visions blurry as the pink.
So yeah, I do feel that the Warning kind of delivers, right? I mean, honestly, delivers on what I purposely expected, right? No, but also aside, right? I said earlier that I felt that this will hopefully be a good video anyway, even though I'm ranting, I'm angry, right? Because the lyrics in the songs that the Warning makes certainly do feel a lot like what I'm talking about, where you're like, I think so at least, in my perspective then, right? Is how like I said earlier, it's not really about the money, right? I keep saying it's about the principle, but it's not about, like, oh, I just want to have all this, whatever. Or it's like, I want to, get it, in this case then, for the scalpers, right? I don't want to overpay. I just want to have the normal pay or whatever, right? But it's also about the idea that I have vacation coming up next week, right? So I have my family, I'm going to visit some cousins, and I go to my aunt, who has a house in another country, yada yada, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff usually. And then you're also in the dream of like nerdiness, right? In my case, I like to buy this stuff. Like last year, I bought a bunch of different card games, right? I went to my aunt's place. She had a lot of cousins. All the cousins. My aunt is like rich, okay? She owns like 4 houses and everything. So we went to her giant house, right? A lot of families coming there, and I'm the kind of nerd relative, right? So I'm bringing all the board games, right? So I bought like 4 new board games. Like, oh, we're gonna play this and this and that, This is my dream. I'm gonna make you all into nerds. You know what I mean? But that's kind of what I think is in life is important. It is important to have dreams, both as a purpose, and I mean just like a career or a life, or I want to have a family, I want to have children maybe, or like I want to have this job, I want to be a CEO, I want to be rich or whatever, right? But I also think it's important to have this dream in like a mini school style, right? It's like I want to have this dream of like having a good January vacation, or having a good family meetup or whatever, having a good family reunion, we call it, that kind of feel to it, or how I don't know, like last week, I played again Magic, right? And I undefeated pre-release. I was crushed ever on. That's like dream as well, right? I want to go there and be the best player, right? So, and these are good, again, powerful lyrics, and I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. I do feel I'm more ranty today than normally, even though I am a kind of ranty guy, but I'm like, now I'm really deep into philosophy here. But I think that is an important part, right? And I think this song then speaks to that you're stuck in this cage, right? That's what I meant earlier. It does feels from their songs more similar to Choke, how you're like, I'm stuck in this cage, how do I get out? And you need to have a motivation or whatever, right, in your life to do something. But I guess my tip, I suppose, right, is that you also have to have these tiny dreams and big dreams, right? Hope you guys understand what I'm talking about here, but I'm trying to be some kind of I don't know. I'm trying to have some kind of like moment of clarity here, right? And I'm just like, okay, you have to have big dreams, but also small dreams, right? And that thing that Amazon failed for me earlier, then that's like a small dream fail. You know what I mean? Because I actually wanted to have those new land cards to build decks with my family and so on. That's like a small dream fail. That's actually I think a good way to look at it. Leave a comment below, guys. But generally, leave a comment below for this thing. When it comes to, first world problems, right? First world problems are very much small dreams, right? This song is about big dreams and small dreams, I think. I think they're both hitting on both different points, right? Is that you have to have this, again, general purpose of a big dream, but you also need to have these small wins, right? These small goals. And I think we actually kind of make too much fun of people's first world problem, but I think more that usually, right, these first world issues or problems, whatever, that you're concerned about, tends to be kind of like your every, day-to-day happiness, right? Tend to be this minor stuff that makes your overall day kind of work. That's kind of first problems. They're kind of like the dreams that you have, on a Monday, right? Where the big dream, the song is about mostly, is kind of like, this is what I want to have as a career, I want to have education or whatever. But to get to the education, for example, you need to be able to get through, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So I think we actually probably are too harsh on people's, like first world problems.
Colliding every time, the chaos drives me wild like an
That's a little bit of that Sisyphus part there, right? Climbing and so on. So I love talking about Sisyphus. This is a old Greek man, right? But I think a lot of metaphors that we have about dreams and being stuck in a cage and so forth, right, is about what is called a Sisyphus task, right? Sisyphus is the guy in Greek mythology that's pushing up the rock, and then every time it gets to the hill, it falls back down, right? And that's kind of what I feel the lyrics there is that it's referring to Sisyphus or the general conceptual idea, right? That is like every time I do something, it's repetitive, or every time I get over one hurdle, another hurdle appears, right? It's kind of like I break down one wall and another wall is suddenly there in the way, right? So I think there's a lot of people struggling with that, in life. Absolutely. Massively so, right? I think a lot of things is often that you think that if I do X thing, then I will have Y success, right? Or Y happens, whatever you define it as. But it's like, I want to have this thing, right? Like, for example, I want to have a promotion. And then you do X thing. But then actually the boss is like, well, you also have to do X2 and X3, right? And you get stuck in that route. And often, like with other songs from the warning, often people gets, of course, abused in the system, right? Abused by the people having the power or whatever, right? Kind of like similar to, with the truth, right? And the disciple, it's like you have to see the truth, right? Don't just listen to people. And then actually, I think that honestly a very important thing to understand in life, right? That you should absolutely strive to be better or have like a better job or whatever, right? But you also shouldn't just expect everyone to be like truthful to you, or that if someone tells you that, do X1, X2, and X3 thing, and I will give you this promotion, right? Should you actually believe in that? I don't think so. You should maybe do that, right? But you should never just expect it that if I just do these, hurdles, then I will automatically get exactly what I want, right? That's a fairy tale. It's how life works, right? Man, I said hellish now, but honestly, you have to kind of think about more as in like, what can I maybe get? How do I maybe get there? In a lot of ways, don't just trust everything blindly, right? And at the same time, you also shouldn't just assume that if I acquire X thing, I'm gonna be happy, whatever. That's the only thing I need in life. But anyway, so go to the live stage. Okay, it's gonna be Pep Center again, and I know I said last video that I want to try to find another stage, but when I googled this thing, the only one that popped out for me was this one and what's called Times Square in New York, which looked pretty poor, it's like in the middle of the square. I mean, it's probably fine, but it looked a little bit like, nah, I want to have an actual like amphitheater, so let's go with this one. But if you have, maybe I missed something. Lean a little bit below if there's another one. People said it's gonna be a better one than this one was.
I've been invaded by the need to stay inside this cage. Day after day I'm hurting, but I choose to stay this way. Running out of things to say. It's an normal to love.
I think I will say the lighting is better on this one than the last one, though, we did last week. Because in the last one, I guess I was more monocolored, in that makes any sense. I do like it here more immediately, right? It's that green color strip on the drums here. You got the purple, kind of magenta color coming on the same time. Yeah, I think the other one felt very much just monochromic. Didn't seem as interesting from a lighting standpoint from the stage performance.
He's treating me out just the same. I'm in too deep. Give me something to believe. And it's how you call a dream. Colliding every time. The chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe. And it's how you call a dream. My vision's blurry as the pain keeps crawling up my skin. The pressure's building and I'm on the verge of caving in. Ready enough for the kill. If this can't bring me to life, then what will? Suffering just for the thrill. I'm in too deep. Give me something to believe. And it's how you call a dream. Colliding every time. The chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe. And it's how you call a dream. Eyes are always open in the dark.
I will say it though, I said it before, you know, I'm competitive in this part. I still think money is the best one though. Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. It's not over yet, soon over. But I do think the money is to say the winner, right? I mean, I like this. It's not bad. Having the background. And like I said, I think the color scheme here is actually a lot better than the two latest ones. It's much more diverse. It's more changing. I think it amplifies how they look more, the clothing and so on. It looks better. So in that sense, this one is better than the previous one, definitely. But I still think that money is the winner. Let's see if I'm surprised. Maybe something happens. But I don't know. I feel like money is my favorite from live performance. Yeah.
I've been underwater right from the start. Rope is wearing thin, can't take it anymore. And that's how you call a dream.
Okay, this is cool as well there.
Colliding
Yeah, I think this really emphasizes her
The
looks.
chaos drives me wild
Yeah, this is
like
cool.
an animal.
This is actually,
Just
yeah, this is
wanna
definitely
breathe.
better than the last one. Yeah, okay, this is definitely okay.
Maybe I wanna become what I feel. How you call a dream?
That's it. I don't know about
Like an animal. And it's how you call a dream.
Okay, it won me over this thing there. This was great, and also the previous beat. I really like this part. This part's great. And then it zooms down, and you see when they're singing, you can have the light behind them and perform. So okay, this was I said it before, right? But yeah, the lightning show on this one is a lot better. But I mean, even before I saw this part, I felt the lighting was just a lot better, right? Yeah, I felt it was a lot better. And then we're going into this thing, it's like, absolutely. I still think that money has, like I said earlier, the tangibleness of it. So I think the money is my favorite. But this is my number 2 now from the stage performance. I will say that. In the last video, we had Evolve. And I think that Evolve is still probably my favorite song-wise. I guess in that one. Not lyric-wise, but song-wise. And yeah, Hell You Call a Dream is fitting for my hellish rant today, right? But man, I don't know. It's just something. I'm not gonna bother to get with the rant, guys. But say one last thing, guys. And again, leave a comment below if you agree with me, right? Especially if you agree with me. But here's something, right? Have you all know this feeling? I feel like a Jerry Seinfeld, like, oh, have you ever seen the airplanes? You know what I mean? Have you ever seen the black box? Yeah. It is just something, right, with an enormous frustration of being in, you know, in like in a phone call, right, with some kind of, you know, support expert on any company, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's an incredible, frustrating feeling, you know what I mean? Isn't it? Have you ever noticed that? No, but it's like the most, like, and everyone's been there, right? But it's like you immediately, you know, the person is just trying to make you give up, you know what I mean? It's always like the other person, she's trying to be like, yeah, whatever, you just turn off the phone, yeah. The other person just absolutely trying not to help you actually, but he's trying to make you quit, right? Yeah, he's trying to be like, yeah, well, what can I do? Or maybe, you know, then he's like, well, I have my phone here, there's no evidence, you send me an email and I will go to whatever, you know, the legal thing, and he was like, well, what I can see, you know, and it's so annoying, right? But it's something that drives me crazy. I think we all have experienced that feeling, right? There is something very special in the hell, right, for people that have that kind of in the positioning, absolutely. It is crazy how frustrating it is, because again, I think their main issue is like, oh, don't do anything. It's similar to the HR people, right? It's like, oh, you have an issue at the office, well, forget about it. Like, don't tell anyone, yeah, just pretend it never happened. Yeah, it's just like, oh, you have an issue with our company, why don't you just like just go over there instead. But anyway, guys, hope you subscribe. Have a great day.